If I could choose one profession from the wizarding world, it would most definitely be Magizoology. Naturally, I have a big interest in fantastic beasts and magical creatures, and let me tell you, there will be plenty to find in Hogwarts Legacy. I took a look at all the footage we have gotten so far, wrote down every single creature I could find, and sorted them, if possible, from least to most dangerous with the help of the Ministry of Magic classification system given by the Department for Regulation and Control of Magical Creatures. A huge shout out to Andy Reloads, who I got the idea from. You can find his channel in the description down below. Not that he needs a shout out, but I still wanted to mention him anyway. Now without further ado, let's dive right into the video. I want to first talk about some creatures that are very well known and mostly kept as pets in the wizarding world. Cats, owls, and toads. They have not received any ranking in the MOM classification system, but if I could classify them, I would rank them between boring and harmless, even though I feel more drawn to harmless. As I said, they are usually kept as pets, so I have high hopes that we might be able to choose either of them at the beginning of our year in Hogwarts. The only time we actually get to see a toad is right here, and also here on the banner, but it's not really proof that it's actually going to be in the game, so I'm going to stick with this scene for right now. And I'm not 100% sure if it is really a toad or if it has a different name. Anyhow, I might have to change the class I chose for the toads if this turns out to be one. Now let's get into the actual classes of the classification system. Starting with the first class, and with that the least dangerous creature that I could find, was the Horcrux, which can be seen here, and it's just being added to a potion right here. Despite the way it looks, it is neither a plant nor a fungi, but a magical creature. Even though that fact is pretty cool, it isn't poisonous and doesn't really move either, so I guess boring is the right word to describe the Horcrux. Anything but boring is the Mooncalf with its big puppy-like eyes. Just look at how cute it is. You who's a good boy? You sure? They are known to be very shy, and the only time they come out of their burrow is at full moon. Now, due to Hogwarts Legacy's day and night plus season cycle, we can be sure that we will encounter Mooncalves pretty regularly. Regularly. Another creature that I think many overlooked is the puffskein that this student right here is holding. Just like the cat, owl, and toad, puffskeins are widely known as pets who love to eat the boogers of wizards while they sleep. I'm not really sure what to think of that. I mean, just imagine randomly waking up at night and a tongue is sticking up your nose. I think I'll stay with an owl for now. Ghosts, however, can neither be tamed nor kept as pets. I think we all know what a ghost is. Is it a beast or a creature? No, but it is pretty fantastic and magical if you ask me. The worst ghosts can do is scare the shit out of you, but other than that, they're pretty harmless, so that's why I put them in here, because the Ministry of Magic didn't see them as worthy enough to be on the list. Rude. Even though house elves and goblins don't really count as magical beasts, I think it's still important to talk about them as they seem to be very crucial for the story of the game. House elves served witches and wizards and would have to do everything their owner would require of them. They could only be freed when given clothes, but that would happen rather rarely. In Hogwarts, we are going to be able to find them in the kitchen, which is located in the basements right underneath the Great Hall. I really hope that we will be able to interact and maybe even give them a sock, so eventually, students in Hogwarts will have no more meals anymore. Goblins were considered to be highly intelligent, small humanoid beings that were very skilled with finances and money, which is why they were in the Gringotts Wizarding Bank. In Hogwarts Legacy, they will be starting this so-called Goblin Rebellion and will therefore become one of our most dangerous enemies. Neither the house elf nor the goblin has been classified by the Ministry of Magic, so I took that matter into my own hands. This one was a hard one, as neither of them is really considered a beast. I however put them into the harmless category because they are not dangerous when respected. Let me know in the comments whether you agree with this classification or if you think they should be in another class. One of my favorite fantastic beasts is the Niffler, who was generally harmless, but due to its high attraction for everything shiny, which made them wonderful for locating treasure, they were very likely to wreck a place if let loose. In the Fantastic Beasts movies, they seem to be extremely funny, which can also be seen in the Hogwarts Legacy state of play when it tucks away the brush safely in its little pocket. I own a Niffler myself that usually stays tucked in a little cage. Very comfy. Now to the very first mountable creature in Hogwarts Legacy, the Hippogriff. They were considered extremely dangerous until tamed. Still, the Ministry of Magic put it into the third class, which I think is questionable. However, If a 13-year-old Harry Potter can fly on one with the right knowledge, everyone will. So I guess I can accept the decision of the Ministry of Magic. I can't wait to finally tame and fly one around the wizarding world. That's gonna be so epic. A creature that can also fly but will be too heavy for is the Fooper. I love that name, Fooper. Foopers can be seen in this location right here, which I think looks so beautiful, and on the official Hogwarts Legacy poster right here. We can also see little baby birdies that could potentially be Foopers, but they also look very much like golden snidgets. I'm not sure. I'll stick with Foopers for now, but if those would be snidgets, I'd be super happy too, as we haven't really seen much of them in the wizarding world at all. In my Room of Requirements video, I made the mistake of calling this creature right here a cat. It is obviously not. It's a Kneazle or half-Kneazle that looks pretty similar to Hermione's half-Kneazle Crookshanks. Despite them being aggressive to certain individuals, they make very good pets when they like the owner. A very interesting fact that I had no idea of is that their whiskers can be and have been used for wand making, even though they are inferior to others like the unicorn hair, phoenix feather, and dragon heartstring. Before we get to the last two classes, I just wanted to remind you that you can support me by giving this video a like and subscribing to my channel. Alright, let's keep going. I pray to all the gods above that Thestrals will be another mountable creature in Hogwarts Legacy. I just think they look so cool. Thestrals are known to have an exceptional sense of direction, even when it comes to places they have never been to. So they're kinda like a much cooler version of Google Maps. And what makes them so super special is that only witches and wizards that have seen death at least once can see them, which made them the omens of misfortune and aggression, which is kinda unfair. Turns out that we haven't actually seen death the day we are arriving at Hogwarts, so that's good, I guess. The creature we have seen the most of in the trailers and footage of Hogwarts Legacy is the Graphorn that we will be able to tame but unlikely be able to ride on. However, they are still gonna be great companions and they can have babies. Overall, Graphorns are very dangerous and aggressive fantastic beasts that you should treat with respect and definitely avoid without the right knowledge.
In the dungeon! Turn around in the dungeon! I thought you ought to know.
I certainly hope that we are not gonna encounter any troll in any dungeon. Even though they are not the smartest creatures, they are very dangerous and extremely aggressive. Apparently they love human flesh, which doesn't necessarily make them much more sympathetic. Not sure why they are in this class, as it doesn't seem like anyone can actually control them. One very human-like creature is the Centaur. They possess the human intelligence and were very protective of their habitat, which we will witness ourselves in Hogwarts Legacy. They don't seem to think highly of, well, anyone but themselves, and expect to be treated with respect, which is probably a good idea to follow, as they are pretty skilled archers who will not hesitate to shoot an arrow straight into your heart. I don't actually think you can consider inferior to be beasts, but I wanted to take them in here because they creep the shit out of me and I wanted to talk about them. Inferi were dead bodies that were reanimated by a dark witch or wizard. I think they should be sorted into this category because even though they're extremely dangerous and known to kill humans, they listen to the dark wizard that reanimated them, which makes them pretty much a servant. Another creature that hasn't been classified by the Ministry of Magic is the Mandrake. It's more considered a plant than a creature, but I think they still deserve a place in this video. Depending on their age, mandrakes could either make you pass out for a few hours or even kill you. They should be handled with care and special equipment like earmuffs and gloves. Finally, we have arrived at the most dangerous class, also known as anything Hagrid likes. Dragons are my favorite creature ever. We will be encountering different types of dragons throughout the game, of which none of them seem to be tameable. They all seem to have a special core though, so maybe by slaying them we are gonna get some special loot, even though I prefer to actually tame one. We will also encounter Hagrid's oldest friend, an Acromantula, a giant magical species of spider that loved human flesh just as much as a troll. Even though Aragog was a friend of Hagrid's and didn't attack him, they are usually not tameable and eat everything that crosses their way. The last piece of this class that I could find and classified myself is the Dementor. They were gliding, wraith-like creatures that fed on human happiness and caused feelings of depression and despair to everyone close to them. They very often consumed the person's soul and left their victims in a permanent vegetative state. They were closely associated with Azkaban, where they were the so-called prison guards and joined Voldemort in the Second Wizarding War. Those were all the confirmed creatures, and for everyone that has watched this video until now, thank you so much. If you made it until here, tell me what your favorite magical creature is in the comments down below. For today, that was it. Thank you all so much for watching my video, I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, please consider supporting me by giving this video a like and subscribing to my channel. Alright, thanks again. Bye bye.